ओम ओम सदाशिवसमारंभा शंकराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्री गुरुं परमानंदं वंदे स्वानंद विग्रहं यस्य सन्निध्यमात्रेण चिदानंदायते तनोः। As we are in Samadhi, so hopefully none of you will get into Samadhi. Okay, so there are two types of Samadhi. In fact, I can add three types of Samadhi. Okay, I can add four types of Samadhi. Okay, why three? Okay. So I can say generally we say there are two types of Samadhi, but for you people, I can add there are four types of Samadhi. Okay, the Samadhi that we are discussing is one Samadhi. Second one also called as Maha Samadhi, especially when a Swami, a Mahatma leaves the body, so that is called Maha Samadhi. So these are the two types of Samadhi. All of you are aware of it. Okay, one is called Samadhi, other one is called Maha Samadhi. Then what are other two Samadhi? Third one very popular. So when Mahatma is sleeping, okay, a Swami is sleeping, so they will not say that no, well, he is taking rest. It's a wrong language. Swami ji Samadhi में है, अभी समाधि अवस्था है. So that means what? Swamiji in Samadhi, don't disturb. Okay? So these are the three Samadhi. I'll add one more for all of you. When you are in your own world, so even though you are listening to my class here, but you are in your own cocoon, your own world. So that is also another type of Samadhi. This is my addition now. Okay? Joke apart. Because remember, the most important thing is in life. How sincere you are with reference to teaching will be reflected in your day-to-day life transaction. That's why always we highlight or we give example. I remember Pujya Swamiji used to give this example. Tanjore doll. I have shown you that doll. Tanjore doll means what? Even if you bend it down, it takes its own time again come up. So life, remember, is like exactly Tanjore doll. And that will be determined especially when you are connected to the teaching seriously. If you are not connected to the teaching seriously, remember, you know better with this background. We were looking at verse number 86, where I had, glossed over. I went to some other verse. Ambo Sandhevayo Ekam यथा भवति योगतः यदात्मनसोरेक्यम् समाधि सोऽभिधीयते. So he gives one example of this salt and water. Even though if you look at both way, they are different. A common person cannot think that the salt and water can be together. In fact, if you allow the salt to remain for longer time, it will become water. That is the beauty. Just allow the salt to be outside, little moisture, that itself will become water. Have you not observed that? So even though they are totally independent, they are different structure. One is solid, other one is liquid. One is tasteless, other one is salty taste. One is white in color or brownish in color, other one no color. In all aspects, one is smellless, other one has got smell. When all the aspects, the salt and the water are different. But when the salt merges in water, there is no existence of salt. So also Jivatma Paramatma Aikya. So in Samadhi, the individuality, the ego is resolved. And when there is no manasa vyapara, means there is no transaction of mind. Remember this point very carefully. Because of lack of manasa vyapara, the person arrives at that it is shunyam. It is empty. Sometimes you also say, oh, I am blank. What does you mean that word blank? So that time you say, I am blank, when you don't connect or your ego is not able to connect or direct your mind. So here he says beautifully, and also he gives the next verse, which is also equally interesting. Yada sankshiyate pranaha manasam cha praliyate yada samarasatvam cha samadhi sobhidhiyate. So again, here what he says, that is called samadhi, that all the pranas, yada sankshiyate prana manasam cha praliyate, when prana is being merged, when the prana is being resolved. Now, as prana is resolved, mind also is resolved. That's why this is samadhi. To have, we need some time. It takes its own time. Unless a person is really mastered. And of course, that is called samadhi. We use this very carefully. That where yada samaraswattam. So samaraswattam, that's why we use this word sometimes called samadhi. Samadhi iti. Where buddhi is sent. So that means there is no longing. In fact, there is no connectivity. The mind is completely free from its transaction. And that is what is called Samadhi. Then how is it possible? So he gives the next verse because there are few verses. We can go ahead. Okay? Because remember this point. To arrive this point, already we had discussed that Dwadasa Dina Dwadasa. That's why in different text also it's being taught. I was going through. Dina Dwadasa Keneva Samadhi Samabapniya Vayu Nirudhyam Edhavi Jivan Mukto Bhaveti Ayam. So here also same concept that we had seen in verse number 8.4. And of course, when it happens, you can see the difference, which is verse number, now we can see 8.8. Nagandam narasam rupam nacha sparsham na nishwasnam natmanam na parastvam cha yogi yukta samadhina. So the most important thing here is that now when the person, and who is the person? The one who is yogi. So when yogi is in samadhi, abiding in samadhi, so what happens to him or her? He says, look, the most important thing happens that there is no atmanam na paraha iti. So there is nothing called sense of mind or sense of others. This belongs to me, this belongs to that. I remember, if you look at why a person suffers, just observe yourself. If we observe our grandparents, I'm not talking about parents, okay? Because with reference to parents, we all have subjectivity. That's why I always bring grandparents. So, if we observe in general, there are some exceptions are there. In general, what you have nowadays, much more than what your grandparents had. Do you all agree on that? Now, if you observe, they are suffering and you are suffering. Whose suffering is more? So they are suffering more or you are suffering more? Be honest. Swamiji, that's why more things I have, more suffering. That's cool. And not like that. Because grandparents did not have that sense of mind that strong. So for them, what is sense of mind? Just observe. Sense of mind means me, my family, that to my extended family, which also includes my village, also includes the area. And because of that reason, one good habit in Tamil Nadu they have. And I don't see any one of you people are having. This is very unfortunate. I feel sorry for all of you. Because all of these guys are having surname with reference to only their father. So in Tamil Nadu, many people have name, initial name as the area. Like for example, you know, Maharajapuram Santana, the famous name, a singer. So he belongs to a place, a locality called Maharajapuram. So that means, how can you see this point? That the individual is connected, that the sense of mind is being developed to a greater aspect. Now, when your sense of belonging is bigger, now your suffering will be distributed or not. Whereas if you look at yourself, what is sense of belonging, sense of mind? Me, me, and me. If you are married, no husband, no wife. Children, no. Only you look at me first. First, I should be taken care, then only others. What sort of sick mind? You understand the concept what I am trying to highlight here? And the more I narrow myself, the more I suffer. Remember, whenever you are suffering, don't blame to anybody. It is you who is the cause of your suffering because of sense of mind that is only restricted to whom? Me, me, and me. And here is said little different. What is there in Samadhi? There is no sense of me. There is no sense of other. Can you see this point? Very careful. And also, na gandham, na rasam, na rupam, na sparsham. So that means what? There is nothing. And when there is no all these five organs of perceptions, and that is what is called Samadhi. Because why? Remember, your sense of mind is developed based on what? Based on bhoktrutvam in you. Remember, this is the most important aspect today I'm highlighting. The sense of mind, if you are very insecure, if you think that only me, why this happens? Because in you, the sense of enjoyment, you as enjoyer is stronger. So when bhoktrutvam is stronger and karta bhava is weaker, that doer is weaker, then what happens? And whatever you do, not for anything, just to enjoy. Look at present generation. Whatever they do, what is the purpose? The purpose is how to get Friday, Saturday, Sunday holiday. Just example sake, okay? I'm trying to say. Because the whole purpose is that how to strengthen bhoktrutvam in me. And when I am a bhokta predominantly, bhokta means enjoyer. Now what happens? Will I be interested to do any karma? Because my mind is always towards bhogam. And when I am behind bhogam, because I am a bhokta, now there is no karma. And whatever karma I'll do, will I be wrong or not? Because karta is not there. Only bhokta wants to do karma. Can you see this point? So whenever you go wrong with reference to your karma, that means you are not a karta. You are basically a bhokta. See, very carefully. This is the basic, thing one has to understand. I'm talking after so many times I have talked. Today again I have brought it out because this point demands here. That's why, what are the things to be done? He says, look, in this state of mind, the bhokta is not there. Why? Because bhoktrutva bhavam, the sense of enjoyment, comes with reference to sense objects. That's why we say very carefully, please understand, none of you follow me. This is what very sad thing in my life. Even if when you come to ashram also, none of you followed. When you are in ashram, rule number 1 is, you are supposed to have as minimum things as possible. At least till you can manage. That's why when we were studying, we were having only 2 pair dress. More than enough. That's why when we do TTC, we give 2 pairs. You have to manage in 2 pairs. But people are crazy. Little bit you give the option without uniform. The way they want. That means it is not, the person is not willing to go through discipline. It has a purpose. So when you have less things at your disposal, your mind is more focused or will be organized. Suppose in your room there are many things. Like people will ask, I want independent room. I want this, I want that, this food is not good. I want to have fruits, I want to have this, I want to have that. You think that person can learn anything in life? Only will teach others. And that person will be a burden for society. I'm not talking any jokes, see for yourself. Yes, you are able to manage with 2 pairs. You can have plenty because when you have to go to the society, you have to dress yourself properly. Like somebody told, and today also is there. Swamiji, your dhoti is shining, okay? People have eyes on this also, okay? For me, whatever is available, I'll put and work, to be very honest. So sometimes I discover in the photos, dhoti is one color, upper cloth is another color. But I have worked everywhere, moved everywhere. How does it matter? So coming back. Yes, when you are going for a purpose, you have to carry yourself. Not that in an ordinary way. Yes, you can carry. So here, these are the things to be understood. One has to be careful. But unless you carry yourself, you are not somebody. Something is wrong with you. Or another group of people, hey, the way I want, I can carry. How does it matter? That is also another segment. So you need to understand, when you are a karta, you have to be a karta. And more you become karta, please understand, at least whether you will go to sattva level or not, at least you will not succumb to tamas. And remember, a tamasic mind suffers. Whenever tamas is predominant in you, that time you suffer. Continuing. Avedya sarvasastrani sarvasastrana avadya sarvadehina agrahyo mantrayantrana yogi yukta samadhina. Very nice. He says, look, samadhi is such a, you can say, state here that when the person is in that state of mind, even if Shastra cannot enter, means there is no need of Shastra either. And also, here, the person, nobody can really, avadhyam, can kill, can do any sort of himsa. So this is sometimes they took literal meaning of it. I'll come to main the purpose and we'll see the common meaning to both. Then agrahyo mantra yantrana. Also here that because of this reason also that this state cannot be achieved through different mantra and yantra, practicing mantra or following some yantra puja and doing all these things. But remember, here this is something that the person should continuously do it. Only abhyasena eva. Now question may arise, so that I'll take few minutes on this aspect very carefully. So when he says avedya, so that means, which we have seen this point also, that nainam chinnanti sastrani nainam dahati pavakah kledayantyapoho na susayati marutah iti, where in Bhagavad Gita. So what is Atma? Atma cannot be killed. So that's why remember this point. So that he brings here. And interesting, the literal meaning of people, these people started giving. So when you are in Samadhi, this happens, no doubt in it. But they started extending. Look, when you are in Samadhi, even if in tiger, do not come and kill you. So tiger comes and sits next to you. That's why you have to create stories, whether this happened in Mahatma case or not, great person case or not. So they have to keep in the photos some tigers. That's why in India, any sadhus, any siddhas, you'll discover some tiger or other, they have to create stories. And those days, there was no story verifiable, you understand? So perfect matches. It is possible, not that it is not possible. Forget about that. Few years back, I think during pandemic time, in Gujarat, there was a big video viral. A cow was sleeping. A tiger comes to, for what? And finally, looking at the eyes, finally, the tiger sleeps next to the cow. So it has happened. There are videos still available also, that video. I think it was in a CCTV camera. It was captured. So these are the possible. It's not that impossible, okay? Because when there is no sense of fear, in fact, we say we were taught in our childhood few things, how to manage if you come across tiger, how to, manage if you come across a snake, how to manage if you come across an elephant, a bear. These were things you were taught in our childhood. Even though we didn't have this sort of things, animals, still we were taught. Do you know how to manage a tiger? Nothing to do. No running away. Looking at the eyes of the tiger. Without blinking the eyes, if you can really manage to look at the eyes of the tiger, tiger cannot. Because eyes has that tejas. But the moment you blink, that means you are afraid. Tiger will jump on you. That's why you can see for yourself also. If you come across any human being as a tiger, don't look at this way, okay? Because you cannot stand for long. Just very gently look at the person. You'll discover the person will also calm down. That's why eye is most important aspect in life. Especially if you look at all these elderly people, or when you become elder, how you look at. But if you start looking at anything and everything with suspicious eyes, and ear also, hey, God's sake, is wrong. You should be generous as the age increases. Why and how? With this, I'll stop it. You do not know who is going to fall when. Yesterday, one incident happened in Ashram here. So, our senior batch, one Swamiji, early morning she came. In fact, the day before yesterday, I saw her. I wanted to talk to her, but somehow I said, okay, forget. She was sitting. I don't know, some thought came, hey, let me talk to her. And then another day, okay, why to? And yesterday morning, she came to temple just to and did namaskar to Sanidhi, Pujyaswamiji, Sanidhi. And after that, she left the body. So when what is going to happen, nobody knows. At least, learn to resolve your sense of mind. And what is sense of mind? Sense of mind is nothing, your insecurity. The stronger your sense of insecurity, the stronger sense of mind you will have in your life. And the stronger sense of mind you have in your life, the stronger suffering, deeper suffering you will have in your life. Choice is yours. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you.